One, two, 1, 2. Yeah, this is Big Man, man. I ain't gonna freestyle on y'all. I ain't gonna freestyle on y'all, man. So we reached the end of the day. Been a great show here on a comfortable Wednesday out here in the Midwest, dodging the heat wave. If you in a heat wave, my condolences. Been a busy morning. We talked some Kentucky football. Are you sold yet on that? Big Blue Nation, let me know. Get in here. Also, we talked some Indiana football, the Signetti era. That just happened. And it was meh. I don't feel like I got my money's worth out of that, but okay. All right. Then we talked some LSU. Feeling like Brian Kelly was targeted. I felt like this dude, you're mad at a guy for daring to be great. Just think about that. You're mad at a guy for daring to be great by taking on a unknown commodity, the USC Trojans in the Big Ten. Then we talked about Florida State crashing and burning and folding and collapsing. So do what you will with that, but not going to go ahead and bury the lead. Just going to go ahead and give it to you straight. That's the dude who's responsible for the freak out at LSU right now, Mr. D'Anton Lynn. And I said, who the hell is he? Because when they were stopping the run, you've got to understand this guy's resume, okay? Now, he's one of the hottest defensive coordinators on the scene. You saw what he was able to do against the LSU Tigers. Now he's got USC faithful all abuzz as they start their inaugural season here in the Big Ten. The players are stoked. Safety, Achille Arnold, says he's actually a lot more relaxed because he knows we're going to play good ball. He trusts us. He supports us. That's huge. Any player would feel like that about a coach. And yes, knowing that the game plan, it builds confidence for everybody at that position. Now, is everything perfect in Trojan land? No, everything's not perfect. The secondary still allowed 304 yards through the air. That's okay. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. It's a young season, and you all know my motto: one weekend doesn't make you a champion, nor does it make you a loser. It's just a weekend. They got Utah State this weekend. The secondary can get a little more work and a little confidence build up before they go to Ann Arbor at the end of the month and play Michigan. Yes, that game is must see. It's blockbuster. We give you our college football breakdown on Saturday, so make sure on Saturdays you tune in to us before you get to your local legacy media, and we give you a real game day. Don't make me go on the road. Don't make me go to some of these colleges, and now we're out there getting it. Don't make me have a good time against my own will. But they play the Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor on the 27th at the end of the month, then inviting the Wisconsin Badgers out to the West Coast before they head to play Minnesota on 10/25. And that's a test right there for the Trojans. Wisconsin is a rough and tough team. Wisconsin is going to beat you up. They're going to test you. They're going to try and break your will. They're going to go ahead and put you through the grinder. And then having to go in October to Minnesota where it's cold, and then everything hurts when you get tested. However, right now, this dude has that defense clicking. He's got that defense clicking. At best, they could be 1-4 going into the Penn State game. Or they could be 5-0. The defense is going to be the difference in those games. The defensive end, Brian Shelby, even heaped praises on Anton, saying this new defensive identity is way different than previous years. We hold ourselves accountable. We hold ourselves to a standard, end quote. Hell yes. What's not to like about that situation? When the guys are happy about playing for a coach, it makes the world of difference. It makes a world of difference. And the ignorance of sports writers is that they don't cover who's calling the plays. They don't cover the pedigree of the people on the booth side of football. Yeah, I know it's comfortable and easy to talk about the kids, but what about the scheme? What about the defensive coordinators, the offensive coordinators, the defensive end coach, the linebacker coach, the safety coach? Why aren't we talking about them more? Educate that fan base a little. It's like almost Jamal Charlo. Learn to be an opponent sometime. Take a little bit of less money. Humble yourself. And those are two guys I really don't like. But yeah, that's it. To paint you a picture of how bad it was at USC last year, opposing offenses blowed over the Trojans weekly, piling up on average 186 yards per game on the ground. And see, when Talty wrote that piece attacking Brian Kelly, he was looking at those numbers. However, he didn't look at this dude and what he's able to do on such a short notice. They were one of the worst teams against the run. Contrast to that Saturday night game, well, the Sunday night game against USC, they held LSU to just 117 yards on the ground, most of which came on 4 carries. The other 22 LSU runs amounted to just 46 yards, basically 2 yards per play per carry. As USC front was able to force the Trojan trio of blocks into tight gaps and very little room to run. So yeah, that's who this guy is. With a signature win under his belt, headed into Big Ten play, this is shaping up to be a good year for the Pasadena Posse. How do you see it, Pasadena? How do you see this? I see this as very, very encouraging for you. This guy, D'Anton Lynn, hats off to you, sir, putting on a masterclass against LSU to the point where you have people questioning a guy who's 20-7. You know how crazy that is? His defense was so lights out, they're trying to get rid of a winning coach with a winning record. He was better than Ogeron. He was better than Miles. Just take those 3 years under both of those guys. Kelly has more wins than both of those guys at that time. But, well, that's the show. Thank you all for sharing, liking, and subscribing to the content. I hope you had just as much fun as we did here in the App Stupid Studios. We will be back on Friday bright